In today's episode of the Motorhome Matt Podcast,
we're at the big show looking for innovation and new products. We discover what Bailey are up to with their range.
And we answer your questions on planning EU routes, towing with a C1 licence and dealer customer service. Welcome to the Motorhome Matt Podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Industry insights, expert advice for the world of motorhomes, caravans and campervans. And it's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com.
Now, please do remember to follow on your favourite podcast app. And make sure you click subscribe if you watch on YouTube. Brought to you by arabasecreative.co.uk.
Straight in with our product of the week then, Matt. Winter products. As I said before, winter drawers on. Get it? Winter drawers. Oh,
back to your pants again.
What have we got?
Hang on.
Talking of winter drawers, we've got something stuffed down them.
Look at this.
Now,
if you're listening, there's a big box just come out from under the table. This is a Maypole motorhome top cover. Maypole have made this innovative range of caravan, motorhome and campervan top covers. So you literally just cover the roof, which of course is the part of the motorhome or caravan that goes green, particularly in the winter, and much easier to fit than a full cover. You can actually fit one of these on your own. And they've got long straps that go down the sides of the vehicle and clip underneath and hold it down. They're brilliant at keeping your roof clean.
and they're £74.99, aren't they?
That's the caravan ones, to be fair. They go up double that really for a big one, but the important thing is to measure your motorhome. The instructions are on the box or on the description at thatleisureshop.com, where you'll find a range of these and you buy the right size for your vehicle and then go and pop it on the roof. Easy.
And if you want to buy them, you get a discount as well. Use the code Motorhome Matt, that's all one word, in caps, Motorhome and Matt, and you'll save 10%. If you buy the big one, that's a big saving, isn't it?
It is, it adds up, doesn't it? Yeah, there we are. Perfect winter product. I think they're great. We've tried one of these on our own van and worked an absolute treat. And we've got a metal van, and people say these scratch it. Absolutely didn't. Not true.
It's like a wig, a toupee for your motorhome. I know all about that.
This episode is brought to you by Ripe. And one of the things I love about Ripe, and I've noticed, is they don't complicate things. If you've got a campervan conversion that is not classified as a motor caravan by the DVLA, they will still cover you.
And lots of people are doing conversions, aren't they? And that's a relief for people making those changes to their vehicles, getting insurance they can depend on.
Yeah, definitely. And you just need to run through your conversion with Ripe, make sure it meets their criteria, and they will offer you cover.
And that's a solid deal for anybody who just wants to get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're sorting out your insurance, then check them out. The link's in the episode description, or give them a call and say Motorhome Matt and get 15% off your premium.
It's the Motorhome Matt Podcast, brought to you with thatleisureshop.com. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
Okay, let's get into the main meat of this week's podcast. We take a tour around Bailey of Bristol. Now, they are what you would call one of those big names, one of the biggest names in the hobby and the industry, aren't they? And have been around for a long time.
Yeah, they have been around a very long time. We went to see some of their new products, which they launched at the recent NEC Motorhome Caravan Show. And there was lots of innovation at the show, lots of off-road type innovation. Bailey, however, far more on-road.
We're here, we made it, we're at the big show and we're on the Bailey stand just minutes before opening. Keith, what do you think?
Oh, it's just magnificent, isn't it? I didn't realise they made so much product and also clean as well.
Yeah, and they are very shiny, that's right. In fact, they get cleaned every day before the show. So they're setting up in the background here, so forgive any background noise. But Keith, we talk a lot about Bailey, and I've seen a lot of their product and we've done quite a bit of work with them, but you've never really been in one.
I never have, no. And, they're very much our local company from where we're based, aren't they? And a great tradition of building caravans and motorhomes. I was talking earlier to one of the Bailey people, and they said it's a family company, and they set great store by that family ethos. And they even regard the customers, once they buy the product, as part of that family. So I really am looking forward to having a look around and giving you my view as a non-expert about what I've seen today.
Yeah, well, you have a wander around. I'd love to get your thoughts. I'm going to try and catch up with one of the brothers that own the company, so I'll catch up with you in a minute.
Looking forward to it.
See you in a bit. I'm delighted to be joined once again by Simon Howard, one of the brothers behind the Bailey brand, and one of the owners of the business. It's great to have you with us. How are you?
Good to see you again, mate. I'm great. Yeah, I'm 3 days into the NEC, so still reasonably fresh. If you came to see me on Sunday morning, I'm probably a bit more soiled, probably. Soiled, but mentally dishevelled. But no, it's great to be here. It's the busiest week of the year for us, and I love being here. It's, as a manufacturer, it's one of the real opportunities to get to meet the public and find out what they think about your products. So
one of the things I love is that you and Nick are both very visible on the stand throughout the week. You're stood around and you are engaging with the public, with your consumers, with your prospects. That's quite unusual, isn't it, for a motorhome manufacturer?
Well, I don't know about other manufacturers, but we're a family business. We always have been, and Nick and I, we love our company. We love being seen represent Bailey. I think it's important we do, because I think our customers like the fact we're a family business, and they join our family when they become our owners, and they like to talk to us. And it's good for us as owners of the business to find out what they're thinking about us and about our products.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I'd love to be a fly on the wall to some of those conversations, I'm sure. But let's talk about what's new at Bailey, because this is an exciting week for you. As you say, you're launching, blimey, loads of new products. Behind us, we've got the campervan range. Two of the models, the 62 and 64, were launched this time last year. Yep. But you've got two new models. You've gone odd number. Tell me more.
Indeed, yes. It's not a very innovative naming sequence, is it? We've gone 2, 3, 4 and 5.
You could have put in a bit more effort.
No, the campervans is the biggest growth sector in the market at the moment, and we dipped our toe in the water with the first two models this time last year. They've gone down very well, and clearly it's time to expand the range now and improve our offering in that sector. So we have two new models, the 3 and the 5. Oh, sorry, I should say that they're all built on the Ford Transit, 6 metres long, 3.5 tonnes, so they're drivable by anybody with a standard licence. Yeah. The 6.3 is a two-berth. It's a variation of the 6.4, but it doesn't have a pop-top or travel seat, so it's got a front bench seat which can convert to double bed, and then it's got a really nice rear kitchen and rear washroom, very spacious at the end, so it's a very practical layout for two people. And then the B65 is a little bit busier. That's got a pop-top, and it's got permanent travel seats, and it's got a fixed bed across the back, so that can cater up to 4 people. So they're the two layouts we've got to double our range for this show.
And are you finding that people coming on the stand that are interested in this product, what demographic are they? Are they a younger audience?
It's a bit of a mix. Certainly they're younger. I'd say they're very active people who drive in the camper vans. They want to get out and about. They want to use their vehicle little and often. So they're generally buying it for use in a pastime. We probably don't get quite so many pet owners for the camper vans. They tend to go for the motorhomes, so you've got a little bit more space inside. Yeah. So it tends to be couples, sometimes with families, but I'd say active people like cyclists, walkers, climbers. So they're using their vehicle as an enabler to enjoy their hobby.
Yeah. Talk to me about Adamo, because this is not just a new model. This is a whole refresh of the entire range and some new models. Tell us more.
We've totally revamped the range. The first time we launched it in 2021, but Ford brought out a fantastic new platform, so it's time to upgrade the range. So they're all built on the new Ford. They come with 8-speed automatic gearbox, 165 bhp engine as standard. We've refreshed the looks inside and out, and also we've introduced a couple of key specification enhancements to the vehicle. We've upgraded the heating from a trim of 4 to a trim of 6, because we know our motorhomers like to use their vehicles all year round, so the heating's really important. So we've got the most powerful trimmer heating system available. We've put compressor fridges in all the vehicles, and again we've looked at the research we get back from our customer warranty feedback surveys, and 70% of our owners take their vehicles abroad quite often to the sunnier climes, sunnier than Birmingham in October, where it can get quite warm, and we know the compressor fridges perform very well in high temperatures, so that's why we've taken the decision to put those in as standard. We've also upgraded the solar panel to 200 watts, and we've upgraded the battery to 105 ampere to improve those off-grid capabilities for the vehicle.
And you're using Banner lead-acid batteries in them all, aren't you?
We are indeed, yeah. It's a good established brand, it's a premium brand, it's a known performer, so we've stuck with them.
So behind us is the 60-4. Now, I had a sneak peek of this motorhome at the Bristol International Balloon Fiesta, where you kind of launched it early to the general public. It was great to see you at a consumer show like that. It's quite.
It's the Bristol show, isn't it?
Well,
it's
it's
our big event.
It is, yeah. And we were there in our shorts. Boy, it was hot, wasn't it?
It was warm.
It was shorts and t-shirt weather, that was, unlike this week. But that's quite a continental influence, is it not?
Yeah, Adamo does have that in their layout. It's got a lot of continental style features. They all have garages. A lot of them have drop-down beds and also convertible lounges. It's quite a sort of practical layout for people who like to use their motorhome in a variety of different ways. But it's always been a sort of continentally inspired in terms of the layout. We've stuck with the same 5 layouts for this range. The only one we've modified slightly is the 60-4, which now becomes the 60-2. That's a dedicated 2-berth, so it doesn't have the convertible travel seats in the lounge, which gives you a bit more storage space under the beds and also increases the payload on the
So just talk us through the range then. So it's the 60-2, that's how you describe them, which is a 2-berth sleep 2 motorhome, 2 belts. And then what's next?
694, the one we saw at the Bristol Balloon Fest, that'd be the next. That's a 7-metre van. That's 4 belts, sleeps 4, drop-down bed at the front, and you can convert the lounge underneath into a double bed. The next one up from that, you've got a pair, 7.5 metres long, the 754i and the 754T, and as the name suggests, the I has an island bed at the back and the T has fixed singles at the back. They're both raised and you've got garage storage underneath.
So T for twin,
I for island bed. There you go.
It's nice to see some logic to the naming
it's
protocol.
better than 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? So but our most popular model by far in the range is the DL, the 754 DL,
which I'm guessing is the lounge.
Double lounge, yeah.
Double lounge.
Double lounge.
Okay.
Has a centre washroom, centre kitchen, front and rear lounge, but with 2 drop-down beds at the front and rear. Very, very popular. Very, very spacious motorhome.
And a massive garage as well.
Massive garage as well. It really does pack a lot in, and again, 3.5 tonne, 7.5 metres long, so it really has got an awful lot going for it, and that's certainly been our best-selling model at the show.
Interesting. So one of the things I love here, Simon, is you've got on the infographics all the payloads for each model. Love that. And 340 kilos on the DL with 2 electric beds and a garage. That's actually quite usable.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the thing there's a fair bit of space. Although you got the front and rear are quite open. There's not a huge amount of furniture, so it's surprisingly light for what you get in the vehicle. And as you say, 340, 4 people, it is usable. You can still pack a decent amount of kit into your vehicle and go away for extended periods.
Yeah. Now we were talking about the continental influence, and I love that we've got a British brand becoming a little bit more continental in design. As a continental van owner myself, it's not lost on me. I love it. And the Allura is a continental influence too, by virtue of being narrow-bodied. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sector that's very popular in Europe at the moment. It's people who are perhaps a little bit more cautious about driving, maybe a little bit intimidated by the wider body models. So they like perhaps the benefits and mobility of a camper van, but with the comfort of a coach built. So the Allura gives you that. So it's a narrow-bodied vehicle, still 7.5 metres long, but you get all the benefits of a coach built. So you get the garage, you get a fixed bed, you get a bigger washroom, bigger kitchen, etc. But you still sort of have the mobility that you get in a camper van.
Yeah, closer to the camper van in width, isn't it? Now, you've got, it must be, 12 models in the range?
12 models now, yeah, but we do have plans to expand it still. I mean, motorhomes for our business we see very much as the future for our business. Caravan sales are very steady, very solid, but in order to grow the business, we are going to need to expand both our camper van and motorhome sectors, and we've got another big year next year.
You have.
With new products coming out.
I had a sneak peek earlier, and we're not allowed to reveal any detail.
Not allowed to do it.
But if you come to this show in February, Bailey are launching a number of new models next year, which is very exciting. Is there anything you can add to that?
Not too much more at the moment, but there will be a new coach-built motorhome range and another new camper van range on the Bailey stand at the NEC show in February.
One to watch, definitely. Listen, thanks so much for your insight. It's really great, as always, to get your view kind of at the top of the business. And it's lovely to see you and Nick on the stand mingling. And we're very excited to see how the February show evolves and the new product you're bringing to the market then.
Good to see you as always, Matt.
Thanks
for coming. Cheers.
Brill. Right, let's go and find Keith and see what trouble he's got himself into. I found you.
Matt!
We're back together.
A long time no see after all these beers.
Beers?
Yes.
It's a bit early for that. So you've had a good look around?
Yeah, I have. By the way, I give it 10 minutes in there. Yeah.
You haven't.
It's early. See, I have had a look round. The Bailey stand, such a lot of vehicles here, such a lot of product, and you can really see that the heritage from all those years, decades of building caravans, and how they're transferring it into the motorhomes, the little wrinkles, the twists, the space saving, and this industry is brilliant for that anyway. But I think Bailey have just taken it that bit further.
Yeah. Do you think what was a highlight then? Do you think of it in terms of design?
Space. The impression of space.
Right.
And now we know that the space is the same, isn't it? Whichever designer gets hold of whichever vehicle, or roughly the same. But you do get an impression of space. Particularly, I found with the showers and the toilet area. You don't feel. I'm a big guy. You don't feel as if both shoulders are touching the wall at the same time. And I was really impressed with that. And the little things as well. I know I bored you yesterday. I was looking around other products from other manufacturers, and I was talking about, wasn't I, the little screw caps not being on the screws. You can see the head of the screws. With Bailey, you don't get any of that. Everything is finished to a really high standard. Very impressive.
So have you used a shower as well as a toilet?
No, you know me. It's not my birthday.
It's not time for the annual shower. And what about a design? So the finishes. I mean, this one's very contemporary. It's very grey. It's very clean and very modern in here. What do you think?
Well, I think it's fantastic. It's not chintz and Fablon, is it? No. Is that a registered trademark? Well, anyway, sorry, Fablon. But, it is more modern. It's dare I say it, I don't want to insult anybody, but much more IKEA-like. An eye on design and the colour scheme. It's not just putting things which are small in. It's not just finishing things off, with a bit of laminate or, as I say, a bit of vinyl-backed stuff. There's a lot of thought, and particularly with storage under benches, overheads. And the great thing about the storage, I find, is it's all lockable cabinets, and you don't really notice it when you're using the area. To leisure around in as I am now, but there's plenty of storage all the way around me, and I just think it's fantastic. I'm a great admirer of the people who designed these, and Bailey's have really got it 100%. Another thing, it might seem small to you. You go on holiday, Spain or France, and you stay in a holiday home, and you get a 2 or 3 ring hob, don't you, to cook on. Everywhere I've seen here on the Bailey stand, there's 4. There's 4 rings, and I just thought, if they can get that in, then they're doing something right,
Yeah, that's very true. I love this stepped kind of design here. From you've got the cutlery drawer in the cupboard, then the oven, and then under the sink stuff. But it's not just a slab side of cabinetry. It's someone's thought about it, and that's one of the things that I've always found with Bailey. Getting to know the team a bit is their passion and drive for what they do, and that comes through in that. It's a silly little thing to notice perhaps, but that's not lost on me.
No, and proper hinges as well, not just the adjustable hinges, which we've all got in our kitchens anyway. But if you look at the cabinetry, a lot of it has got proper fixed hinges on it, and you need good joiners to be able to do that. I've been around and looked at the caravans, looked at the motorhomes, and I've slammed the drawers, and I've opened and closed, and moved the beds, and sat on the sofas, and really given them a good seeing to.
No.
But
what have you done?
I don't want to make a big thing of it or anything like that, but
what have you got there?
Hide that for me, could you?
By the way, no motorhomes were actually harmed in the making of this video. Just before we head back to the studio, I'd like to say a massive thank you to another supporter of the Motorhome Matt Podcast, and that's Theama, a household name I'm sure you are very familiar with. I love their range and quality of products, and their after sales is always top notch. Find out more about Fiamma on the Motorhome Matt approved directory. Just head to mhmp.info/Theama.
It's the Motorhome Matt Podcast. I'm Keith Gooden.
And I'm Motorhome Matt.
And it's brought to you with thatleisureshop.com. Good to have you here. And it's time for our audience Q&A, the question and answer, where you ask the questions of Motorhome Matt and he'll give you the answer. And if he doesn't know, he'll go around to his band of expert friends who all live in a house like the Monkees. Remember the Monkees TV series? They all live in a house together and they've got a fireman's pole. Well, he'll go around to them and he'll say, hey, I've got a difficult one. First of all, Jenna Whitney's in Yorkshire.
Hi Matt and Keith, Jenna from South Yorkshire here. I have had my first ever motorhome for around a year now, and I'm starting to look into taking it into Europe, but struggling to know where to go to start planning routes and what have you. So any hints and tips you can give will be much appreciated. It will be myself, I'm 40 and my sister that's 37 travelling, just us two. So as well, any kind of security, safety advice that you could give us would be much appreciated. So thank you for doing the podcast. They're fab and I've learnt so much already. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, Jenna. What a nice person Jenna
What a lovely
is.
question.
Thanks,
Jenna.
She wants some tints and hips.
Does she really?
Yeah. So can you answer them?
I will try. I'll give you some hints and tips. I'm leaving your tips out of this. So there are so many resources online, Jenna. Google really is going to be your friend here. I would suggest look at the regions you want to visit and start researching the campsites or places you want to stop over in those areas, and then you can plan your route accordingly. Now, to help you do that, I can highly recommend the range of Alan Rogers books. Their tour books are superb at trying to find campsites across Europe. Also, Axie, I'd register for Axie. If you're going off peak, you're going to save the cost of that in one night stay, probably.
How do I spell Axie then?
ACSI.
Right. Okay.
And don't ask me what it stands for because I can't remember. We do know. We did do an episode with them at the NEC show last year, and the guys are always there from, I think they're from Holland, and they're there selling the membership. It is brilliant because you get at least 50% off the campsite. We once stayed on a campsite with a swimming pool, had lots of restaurants, bars, and I think it was €15 a night, and it was absolutely amazing. 5-star campsite, it was brilliant. So Alan Rogers and Axie will be where I start. Camper Contact is great for finding heirs. So these are places you can stay that are often owned by the local council, and there are some route planners on their website from memory as well. So that might help you too. And Park 4 Night with a number 4 in the middle. Park 4 Night is a great resource for finding places to stop whilst you're on the continent too. In terms of security, I say it's very easy to get caught up in some urban myths about people being attacked. It has happened, and I've spoken to a few people who have been robbed and they've had stuff stolen out of their van. It can happen. I would strongly recommend you don't park on any main road services and try and spend the night there. I would definitely head off into a village or town, and if it feels unsafe, it probably is, so trust your gut. There's loads of hints and tips online about putting security belts through, or seat belts through the doors, holding them shut, parking so you can drive off in a hurry if you need to, so not using the levelling ramps, not closing up the blinds. Lots of advice online about that, but don't be scared, but definitely be sensible and enjoy the journey.
Cheers, Jenna. Thanks for the question. The Axie blokes are Dutch, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Skillende aardappelen. I learned that on Pirate Radio. Peel the potatoes. Skillende aardappelen. They were a lazy bunch.
I know some Dutch, but I'm not allowed to repeat it on the
Ben je
podcast.
helemaal? Are you mad? Those are the two phrases that got me through.
The only two.
Yeah. Bradley's in Swansea. Hi, can I drive a motorhome weighing 8 tonnes with a 2-tonne trailer for commercial use to and from events? If there isn't a tachograph fitted to the motorhome. Tachograph, if you don't know, is something which records the amount of hours that you drive. It's in the cab.
And speed.
I have an HGV1 licence. Bradley says, thanks in advance.
You're welcome. Now, this could be a bit of a grey area, but the bit that for me that isn't grey is the fact you are an 8-tonne motorhome and a 2-tonne trailer, so 10-tonne train weight. And you're doing it commercially, so you're doing it for hire and reward, and that means two things are required: a tachograph in the cab and an operator's license for where you're storing the motorhome and trailer. I spoke to a retired traffic cop about this at length, and he said what makes it grey is because the towing vehicle is a motorhome, and the question is the driver being paid for this job to be done commercially? It sounds like you are. So under the eyes of the law, if you have a very strict VOSA officer pull you over and you don't have a tacho or an OL, you could be in trouble. So I would certainly be considering researching this a bit more. My advice, though, is definitely look into a tachograph and an operator's licence. And, of course, the other issue is you're going to have to restrict the motorhome to 56 mile an hour, which is annoying.
It might be annoying, but hey. Thanks, Bradley. Much appreciated in Swansea. Now, this is a long one. You might want to put the kettle on for this one. It's a big question, all right? I would reckon we're doing it because it's relevant. But if you're going to ask a question, keep it shorter, would you? Kevin, not Keith, that's the only reason we're doing it. You got my name right. Is in Edinburgh. He says, "Hi, Matt. Earlier this year, I bought some outdoor chairs and tables from that leisure shop. And despite a minor hiccup, I was really impressed by the customer service from your team that identified a problem and resolved it before I was even aware there was an issue. A big shout out to Dave."
Well done, Dave. Top team. I would like to hear your opinion on a problem I recently had with the dealer who supplied my brand new motorhome, which I think is at the complete opposite end of the customer service spectrum.
The motorhome was supplied with a 4.5 metre wind-out awning. Unfortunately, as the weather hasn't been great, on only the second occasion I used the awning, there was a very heavy rain shower, damaging the entire awning mechanism. I'm fairly experienced in motorhoming and know how to put up an awning correctly to drain heavy rain, so I don't believe I did anything wrong. Also, there were at least a dozen other wind-out awnings on the same campsite that survived the brief shower, so I'm convinced that there was a structural flaw in the awning leg.
However, the dealer did not want to know and said that the awning was not covered by any warranty, as I wanted to ensure that the vehicle and awning were both operational for the summer season. My only option was to pay the dealer £1,370 for a replacement awning.
Now, Kevin goes on to say, "I feel I was treated unfairly. I believe that the dealer should have pursued the warranty claim on my behalf with either the vehicle manufacturer or the awning manufacturer. As someone with considerable experience as both a motorhome owner and supplier, I'd be interested to hear if you agree that I've been unfairly treated." That's Kevin in Edinburgh.
Well, as you know, Kevin, the advice is always put the awning away in wind and rain, or any time you're away from the vehicle, which I happen to know you were when this happened. I say treat awnings like young children. Don't let them play outside unattended. So if you are wandering off, it takes seconds to wind one in, because you never know. But without seeing the awning damage, seeing pictures of it, which we don't have, and the weather conditions at the time, it is impossible for me really to comment on this. I wonder, though, could the awning be repaired? We've actually had this happen to us. We've just fitted a 4.5 metre awning to an auto trail motorhome. It's a Fiamma awning, and it was on our hire fleet, and it's come back, and the hirer reported that the leg gave out and it dropped, hit him on the head. Unfortunately, he was fine, and we've investigated, and it would seem it's been caused by weather damage. Now, we've not charged the hirer, as we just put it down to experience, but it is so easy to damage these awnings because the legs really are lightweight, they are thin, and they are not designed to put up with any sort of sudden gust of wind or indeed heavy rain. And we are able to repair it, though. We're going to replace the leg and the knuckle that it's attached to. So I wonder, why did you have to buy a new awning? Did the canopy rip? Did the frame bend? There's obviously something else going on. So I'm sorry to hear you had to replace the whole thing, but I think you'll probably find that Fiamma or Tula, whoever made the awning, might be a Dometic, you haven't said, would probably all say that it would be down to bad weather, and it would be very, very difficult to pin on them a claim, I would say.
And the key is, if you look at the weather forecast, is what you should be doing, and it looks like there's rain around, then wind the awning in. Don't. I'm not saying that you have been lazy, Kevin. I'm just saying to others, don't be lazy. As Matt says, you know, if you're going out, wind it in, and then these things can't happen, can they?
Yeah, and there's a few really good accessories you can buy. The Fiamma range features a rafter, which is a middle bar that goes in, and that really gives the awning some stability and strength and stops it flapping about. Tie-down straps are a really sensible addition. and pegs, just peg the legs down. The problem with those few things is putting it away quickly is off the table, because you've got to start disassembling straps and taking pegs out the ground. And if the weather kicks off quickly, as it increasingly is, isn't it? It has been round here. Sudden gusts of wind. We even had a tornado through the middle of Bristol the other day. So the weather can change very quickly all over the country. So, you want to be in a position where you can put it away quickly.
I use Met Office Rain Radar.
Very good.
If you put that in, they have every 50-minute updates of storms and clouds and expected rainfall in your area. It really is.
Yeah,
it's free.
We relied on every weather app we could find on the Outer Hebrides when we were in the van. The weather there changes so quickly. Incredible. What an experience. Anyway.
So check it, store it. Now, Matt, if people want to ask a question, what should they do?
We'd love it if you did. Yeah, please. Because I always say if you've got the question, I guarantee thousands of other have too. So go to mhmp.info/ask Matt. You can click the little orange button and record your question. You can listen back to it as well before you submit it. Or you can fill in the form and we'll read it out for you.
And you don't have to be word perfect, because I can use my fantastic editing skills to make you sound zingo.
Zingo.
Yeah. You can leave us a review as well.
Yeah, we'd love it if you did that too. mhmp.info/review.
And if I have got the sort of feeling that I want to subscribe on YouTube, what do I do?
Just click the little button that says subscribe and the little bell, and then the gods of YouTube can tell you when a new episode is released. And our YouTube channel is sponsored by the lovely folks at arabasecreative.co.uk.